Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is November 26, 2025. And sources close to Hansi Flick report that the German coach, well, he's getting pretty fed up with the team. Also, Bayern Munich and Harry Kane closing the door to the departure of the English striker. And finally, Atletico Madrid doing the same in regards to Julian Alvarez. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I am still away, not at home, not in my YouTube studio. This is why I'm doing this short live stream. This is not a podcast, so I won't be addressing the comment section live. This is just a short live to keep you up to date on all Barcelona news while I'm still on the road. But of course, I will be reading your comments once the live is done. So please make sure to drop your comments, letting me know your thoughts and opinions about everything that I'm about to share with you. Anyways, let's begin with the news because, ladies and gentlemen, we have some Spotify Camp Nou controversy because, of course, it is not FC Barcelona if there isn't some controversy. Now, the controversy regarding the Spotify Camp Nou has to do with the workers that have been found working at the stadium because, of course, as you know, Barcelona have hired the construction company Limac. Limac, as a construction company, has several subcontractors working under it. And well, one of these subcontractors called Extreme Works were fined €1 million, €1 million by the Department of Labor because when the Department of Labor did an inspection at the Camp Nou, they found 70 Turkish workers working without permits. Work permits means that they were in the country illegally, they were working illegally, and as such, Extreme Works have been fined €1 million. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with FC Barcelona because Barcelona hired Limac, and then it's like, Limac, all right, you figure it out. Limac hired Extreme Works as a subcontract. Extreme Works hired these workers. So this is nothing to do with FC Barcelona itself, besides the fact, of course, that, well, it is our stadium, right? It's our stadium where these 70 undocumented workers were found. Now, it's reported that Barcelona are doing their own investigation, and they too can impose some penalties on Extreme Works. Let's hope they do because let's remember, supposedly there's a clause in a contract with Limac where for every day of delay, Limac is supposed to pay us €1 million. And as we know, there were 360 days of delay. So let's see if Barcelona do something about Extreme Works breaking the law, hiring 70 undocumented workers, and of course, getting fined €1 million. Now, let's move on to the next bit of news because sources close to Hansi Flick are reporting that the German coach is growing frustrated. But before we talk about that, I got you there. I got you hooked. Before we talk about that, we do have to talk about the Royal Spanish Football Federation because they have issued a warning to FC Barcelona, a disciplinary warning, and it does have to do with Hansi Flick, and it has to do with the Athletic Club de Bilbao match. Now, during that match, during the first half, as we saw, Alejandro Balde received a knock, which left him a little bit dizzy. He was taken to the sidelines, but then they decided that he will continue. This knock was between Balde and Unai Gomez. During halftime, the medical staff did some tests on Alejandro Balde to see, if he was good enough to play. Eventually, he was subbed out. But because these medical tests were done during the halftime, Hansi Flick was 3 minutes late to come out of the locker room. And as such, the second half began 3 minutes after he was supposed to begin. So the Royal Spanish Football Federation issued a disciplinary warning to FC Barcelona not to do this again. And if they do, the club could get fined €3,000. And if Flick does it again, he can be suspended 1 to 3 matches, which, of course, all of this is a little bit ironic because, we emphasize so much the safety of players and blows to the head. But, here we have Balde, who did receive a blow to the head. They do the medical exams during the halftime, which what they were supposed to do per protocol. That causes a 3 minute delay. And all of a sudden, it's like all hell breaks loose. But anyways, that's the Royal Spanish Football Federation for you. Now we turn into the next news about Hansi Flick himself, because, ladies and gentlemen, sources close to the German coach are stating that Flick is getting fed up with the team. Now, as you know, the team has been underperforming, well, pretty much for the entire season so far, and as a result, Flick has spent the last few weeks trying to steer the ship back on course by having more tactical talks, adjusting his tactics, explaining it to the players, working with the team as a whole, working with the players on an individual basis. He's been doing all these changes to right the course of the ship, and we started to see some improvements, right? We saw Barcelona take a step forward against Celta Vigo. We saw Barcelona take another step forward against Athletic Club de Bilbao. And Flick thought that all this work that he had done, all this work that he had put in with the team, would finally get consolidated in the match against Chelsea, only for the team to take 3 steps back. They took 2 steps forward and it took 3 steps back against Chelsea. And they're reporting that Flick is very, very frustrated and he's starting to get fed up with the team because they're simply not responding to anything that he does in order to right the course. Now, there's more sources stating that Flick could maybe, if he sees that the team is not responding this, by January, that could influence his decision to renew because he has yet to renew and Laporta wants to extend his contract. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope these players finally react, and let's hope that Flick can stay with us more seasons because we've seen what he can do. Well, when the players actually want to listen to his orders. Now let's move on to the next bit of news because, ladies and gentlemen, Atletico Madrid's president, Enrique Cerezo, has closed the door on the departure of Julian Alvarez. Now, as we know, Barcelona are in the market for a center forward. They want to sign a replacement for Robert Lewandowski coming the summer transfer market. One of the dream signings is Julian Alvarez, even though I personally believe that it's absolutely impossible given his price tag, sorry. And now this has become even less likely after the recent statements by Atletico Madrid's President Enrique Cerezo. Now, I want to put some context into his statements before I read them to you because Atletico Madrid just got a huge, huge investor to invest into their club. So now they have more money than ever. So it's even less likely that this would happen because not only do they not want to offload Julian Alvarez, but now they don't even have to because they have gotten such a huge cash infusion, such a huge investment. So now with that context, let's read the comments of Enrique Cerezo because this is what he had to say about the departure of Julian Alvarez. That was and is the case before and after their arrival. He's talking about the investors, Apollo. We had anticipated that before they came. The idea of Julian being protected is something you all made up. Julian has a contract and he has to fulfill it like everyone else. Julian is a player we want and he wants to stay here. So what more reinforcement does he need? He's been with us for a year and he has 5 or 6 more. We are not open to negotiating for Julian or any other player. Now, if a team comes for a player and he wants to leave, then he'll leave. But right now, there isn't a single player who wants to leave. So Enrique Cerezo saying he's not leaving. He wants to stay. We want him to stay. And guess what? There's no need for us to sell him because now they have a huge, huge investment from Apollo. So Enrique Cerezo pretty much shutting the door. But either way, like I said before, I think this door was always shut because they were saying that Atletico Madrid, if they wanted to sell him, would want 150 million, and that's just not money that Barcelona currently have. Now, the other striker that Barcelona were considering is, of course, Harry Kane. There was talks about signing Kane this summer because he does have a release clause worth 65 million euros, which, given Kane's experience, given his efficacy in front of the goal, it's actually a pretty good price because right now any world-class center forward like Harry Kane would cost north of 100 million. So 65 million would be something of a somewhat affordable. But now Bayern Munich and the player himself have also closed the door on Kane leaving Bayern Munich. This is what Max Eberl, the sporting director of Bayern Munich, had to say about the departure of Harry Kane. We will meet with Kane in January 2026 to discuss his future as we had agreed. I think we can all see that he is happy at Bayern and how comfortable he feels here. I'm not really too worried about Kane leaving us, despite everything that's being said. So the sporting director is saying that they plan to renew him. They're going to meet with him in January, and they plan to renew the player. Now, you might say, hold on, Mo. Bayern want to renew the player. But what if the player doesn't want to renew? What if the player wants to leave? Well, let's look at the statements of Harry Kane himself, because this is what the English striker had to say. It's very unlikely that anything will change next season. There's no rush. I'm happy at Bayern, and that shows in the way I play. If there are any contacts, we'll see. So he does leave the door a little bit open because he says if there's any context, we'll see, but also saying he doesn't see anything changing because he's happy at Bayern, and plus the statements of Bayern saying they want to sit down with him in January. Kind of not completely shuts the door, but very, very close. Very, very close, which of course that leaves Barcelona with very limited options. Harry Kane, no. Julian, no, but I think it was always a no because of the money. So we'll see what Barcelona will come up with. Of course, there's still the option of Eta Young, who wants to come, and they're saying Barcelona could sign him for something between 20 to 30 million. So we'll see who will end up. And of course, my question to you is, who do you want to see in the number 9 at Barcelona? Let me know down below in the comment section. Anyways, that is all it is for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Vis Barça.